taken, abused, locked in a metal dog crate for 3 months. One moldy meal a day. Darkness everywhere. The only sound? Screams of torture from the next room. I don't know how my uncle survived, but this is his story. My uncle was one of the most successful businessmen in our city. Well-dressed, sharp mind, respected, envied. He came from a place where deep poverty was the norm, crime ignored by the police, and most of the village controlled by gangs. One night, while leaving the office, he was taken at gunpoint in the parking lot. Security footage showed 3 masked men forced him into a van. No plates, no fight. They were ready. Just like that, gone. A month went by, nothing. Then, here comes this letter. They sent a photo of my uncle and his finger. The message was simple. This was serious. He was being held for ransom. And if no one cooperated, they'd come for the rest of the family. These guys weren't amateurs. They were cold, smart, and calculated. They knew exactly how much he was worth. And they weren't just after the money. They wanted power, fear, control. But the money they asked for, no one could send it. No one had access to his bank accounts. So, they held him longer. For 3 months, he was kept in what was described as a metal dog crate. No mattress, no pillow, just cold, sharp steel digging into his back. It was so small that he had to curl up in a ball just to fit. Every second, every day. They never hit him, but they broke him. Mentally, emotionally. They kept him in total darkness. He didn't know if it was night or day. They fed him once a day, moldy bread, and a slab of gray meat, warm water. Sometimes the bread had bugs. If he fell asleep, they'd splash him with freezing water. Then they'd turn on a giant fan to keep him shivering. They'd show him pictures of his family, his wife, his kids, his siblings, and threaten to wipe out the whole bloodline. He wasn't allowed to leave the cage. He had to use the bathroom right there. When the smell got too strong, they'd hose him down with ice-cold water. The only sounds he heard? His own breathing and the screams next door. Torture, real pain. And he knew he could be next. He remembered one night, a man crying and begging for his life. Then, a loud metal slam, which was followed by silence. Eventually, the police tracked down the guy running the operation. They planned a sting and made their move. 2 days later, they dumped my uncle on the side of a road, half naked, bones showing through his skin. He couldn't walk. He couldn't talk. He was alive, but not really. He never recovered, never smiled again. and his eyes still trapped in that cage. I was set up, mocked, attacked, and my will shattered. Blindfolded, told I'd never see my loved ones again unless my girlfriend delivered a package. These guys weren't bluffing. They didn't mind causing pain, physical or mental. This happened pretty recently, last Christmas. I used to sell weed, a lot of it. It's legal now where I live, but back then, I was still operating in that gray area during the changeover. I had a bunch of regulars, and one of them called me up, asking if I could hook up his brother-in-law. No red flags. The guy had literally sat at my dinner table. I trusted him. We texted back and forth, agreed on a time and place, and I headed out. I got there first, but the other guy, he was dragging. So I called him, told him I'd meet him closer to his place, since I have more orders stacking up nearby. Eventually, he showed up. I parked around the corner, walked over with his order, hopped into the back seat of his truck. Just another handoff. Then, things got bad. The guy next to me shifted in his seat. I could feel him staring at me, but not in a friendly way. Then suddenly, both him and the driver pulled out guns. Dead serious. Give us your keys. Before I could say anything, one of them hopped out and drove off in my car. The other told me to sit still, stay quiet. Then, they taped my eyes shut. The tape yanked at my lashes, rough, suffocating. I tried tracking the turns we were taking, counting lefts, rights, anything to anchor myself. But they kept doubling back, looping, confusing me on purpose. The drive felt endless. Eventually, we stopped. They dragged me out of the truck. Cold air hit my face as the door opened. They slammed it shut behind me. They pulled me down some stairs. I smelled mildew and something metallic. I assumed it was a basement. They sat me in a hard chair and shoved a phone into my hand. "Call your girl," one said. "Tell her to empty that safe." I was shaking, my voice cracked. I told her to grab everything inside, put it in a box, and walk it down to the front gate. Someone would be waiting. She kept asking what was going on, and I just kept saying, "Please. Just please, just do it." Thankfully, she did. While we waited, the room stayed silent. One guy chewed gum, loud, bored. Another paced behind me. I couldn't see anything, but I felt strong tension. Then one leaned down and whispered in my ear, "If she calls the cops or does anything stupid, you'll never know what freedom is." He showed me a long curved blade, rubbed it against my arm, slowly. I kept thinking, what if she messes up? What if she forgets something? Eventually, one of them came back. "Got it," he said. Then, without warning, Both guys took turns punching me in my gut as hard as they can. All the air left my lungs. I couldn't breathe for nearly 10 minutes. I thought I was going to pass out. After, they drove me back, stuffed me into my own car, told me to forget this ever happened, to never speak to my friend again, and to take this as a blessing. They left me there, bruised, shaking, eyes still burning from the tape, but alive. They asked who I worked for. I gave them the same answers every time. I didn't know anyone's address, just names, just numbers. They seemed to believe it, or maybe they were just happy with the money. I never found out if the guns were real, and I never wanted to. I complied, stayed calm, and that's what probably saved my life. To this day, I still wonder, what would have happened if I hesitated? If my girlfriend said no? If I panicked? To me or my girlfriend? How did I survive? I did exactly what they told me to do. And I had full faith in my girlfriend that she would come through. Needless to say, I changed my life after that. I never went back to that world again.